Shifting to the Middle East, the Israeli Defense Forces have conducted all necessary preparations to undertake a ground offensive in the city of Rafah. The IDF says they are awaiting final approval from Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. And now this comes after the Prime Minister's office confirmed that the army will be moving ahead with a military operation. However, Netanyahu is yet to confirm the timeline on when the assault will actually begin. The Prime Minister also said that an operation in Rafah is necessary as it serves as the last bastion for Hamas. Israel has repeatedly said that a victory over Hamas would not be possible without an intervention in Rafah.
133 hostages are still being held by Hamas in Gaza for over 200 days in inhumane conditions. Until Hamas releases our hostages, the IDF will continue to pursue Hamas everywhere in Gaza. This is an urgent call for action. We will leave no stone unturned in our efforts to find our hostages.
Now, Rafah is said to be the last refuge for almost 1.5 million Palestinians who have been internally displaced due to the Israel-Hamas war. Residents in Rafah are boxed in with the Mediterranean Sea to the west, Israel to the north and east, and Egypt to the south. In fact, Egypt has a heavily barricaded wall along the Rafah border to prevent Palestinians from crossing over. And with an Israeli offensive looming, Cairo has raised concerns over a potential humanitarian catastrophe in the city. Meanwhile, Israel has rushed its top military and diplomatic officials to Egypt to address the concerns. But Cairo fears that an all-out offensive in Rafah will drive hundreds of thousands of Palestinians into Egypt. Now, Israel claims that Hamas has at least 6 battalions in the Gaza Strip, all of which operate from Rafah. Meanwhile, Hamas says they are ready to take on the Israeli troops and will not surrender until Palestine becomes a separate state.
There are more than 1,200,000 citizens and displaced people in Rafah. Israel wants to enter Rafah. They will be dealt with there as they have been dealt with in other areas, and maybe more severely, much more severely. If they can't finish Hamas off, what is the solution? The solution is to go to consensus. We have repeatedly offered the establishment of a fully sovereign Palestinian state in the West Bank and Gaza, and the return of refugees in accordance with the international resolutions that have emerged in this regard.
Now, the IDF has already begun conducting airstrikes on Rafah as it prepares to send in ground forces. And with neither side wanting a ceasefire, uncertainty looms over the lives of more than 1 million or war-ravaged Palestinians. From impeachments to inaugurations, if it's a political story, we are on the scene. The race for the White House is heating up.
We're beating Biden.
How dare he say that?
If it's breaking news, we're live with the latest coverage. From the White House, the State Department, and Capitol Hill, we know the issues, but above all, we know the players to bring you the latest in-depth analysis on all the key stories that we're covering. I'm Eric Ham. Join me from Washington here on Firstpost America.